In each semester of my college career, I tend to assign different classes with different types of children. The oldest child, the middle child, and the youngest child, depending on how high maintenance they are. Let's just say that one of my classes feels like an unplanned pregnancy right now. Season 5, Episode 5, Take 1. What is good, everybody? My name is Jake, and welcome back to the One Take series, where we get one chance to reflect on the day. No second chances, no third chances, one take, and one take only. Starting by going down the list is making me realize just how much I need to fix about life, right? Because what is really happening? I mean, we succeeded in gym, right? We did that, okay? Academics is a bit of a pain right now. I can't even lie, and we're already only 5 days in. We are so cooked. But we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it, and we're going to find ways to get through it, okay? Let's see. In terms of the stuff that's like the rest of it, okay, I guess it's not as bad, right? But the main thing is that I failed with Jesus again, okay? And so I'm trying to find a way, because it's like, okay, this is obviously the thing I want to put first every single day, okay? So I need to make a way I need to find a way to emphasize it more highly, right? So here's this, okay? I have an idea. It might not be the best idea, but we're going to go with it, okay? We're going to go with it. We're going to make a debt counter, right? Because the thing about Jesus and about God is that we are forever in their debt, right? It's especially for Jesus, we are forever in his debt because he died for our sins, right? And so the thing is that there really isn't any sort of act that can repay it. But I want to make a debt counter. And maybe I'll come up with a different name. Maybe you guys can suggest different names. But I want to say, I'll say a debt counter, right? Because the thing is like, I know that technically by repenting, I could just do the easy thing, repent each day. But then the thing is that if I don't fix my mistake, then what's the point of repenting, right? So we're creating the debt counter. And basically what the debt counter is that every single time that I miss a day of reading, I am going to add one chapter that I need to make up for that. So currently we are 2 chapters, not including today, we are 2 chapters behind, which means that the debt counter is currently sitting, we'll put it in red to emphasize it more, the debt counter is currently sitting at 2, okay? Which means that in order to be caught up back to where I wanted to be, I need to, for today, read the one that I was originally going to read as well as the 2 that I was supposed to read. If I don't read any today, then this number changes to 3, okay? This is what we're trying. And it's specifically, I know that it wouldn't work if the debt counter is extremely high, because at that point it's like, well, why even try? But I think that if we do this while it's still a relatively low number, then not only could I maybe make it up by doing like maybe 2 chapters a day until it's paid off, but I could just find different ways to actually stay on track to finish the Bible in about like 4 years, assuming that I do 1 chapter a day. Because like the thing is that I'm currently on around like Genesis 27, I want to say, but the thing is that I started reading Genesis about like 1.5 years ago, and the reason why is because I do 1 chapter a day at most, and most days I didn't read. So I think this would be a good way to incorporate getting caught up and finishing the Bible in an orderly fashion, no, a timely manner. That's what I want to say, in a timely manner, okay? So that is going to be the thing. We're calling it the debt counter, okay? For gym, we were able to do shoulder day yesterday, and I think it was really good. It was funny. My roommate was prepping some salad, and originally it was supposed to be chopped up chicken breasts, but it turned into dino nuggies. So I was like basically just kind of working out and stuff, and my source of protein was dino nuggets. So that was pretty fun. The bulk goes crazy, I guess, or maybe the cut, I don't even know. But basically, whatever it is, the gym goes crazy. So pretty much, academics right now is a bit of a pain. We'll get to that a bit later on. But internships, here's the important things, okay? For internships, we haven't done anything still in between besides getting like kind of the one, like we haven't really done anything, but we are going to start this weekend, right? And I really should have actually written that upon the other stuff, which is we start this weekend. we're gonna start with the portfolio, making sure that that's in order. Thankfully, we have 3 days to do it, and then once it's either Monday or Tuesday or just whenever the portfolio is done, apply. We find ways to apply. We make sure that we're good to apply, basically, so that way we can land that internship as soon as humanly possible. And so then afterwards, while we're kind of on that topic, research is kind of the same way. I'm planning on starting some drafts and cold emails tomorrow, and just like going through a bunch of different articles to see the professors and like what I really want to centralize on when it comes to research. I'm planning to, I know, at least send 10 different professors, just kind of like, just asking them, just kind of like seeing what's up, saying that I'm interested and if they have any research positions open, I guess. And so we're gonna start that process tomorrow. So that's pretty good. Work, I was able to do 2 hours yesterday. I'm not going to do 2 hours today simply because I am not going to have the time, sadly enough. Which means that Big Brother, I was able to get the 2 episodes in, but once again, I'm not gonna be doing it unless I'm working. Simply just because for one of my classes, I'm gonna get to that, but basically for academics, I have this one quiz for a class. And then it's also like this one weird lab that me and my lab partner were struggling with all day, even though they don't make a sanctioned time for that lab, right? So that's why I'm saying it feels like an unplanned pregnancy, because it's not even like high maintenance like a younger child is. It's just like, why are you here? Why are you happening? I know that's such an awful way of like putting it, but when in the context of comparing classes to children, it's just what it feels like. I can't really explain it beyond that. Let me see. So then for music, haven't worked on anything since. And then one take. You already know what's up. We released the 4th episode yesterday, and I'm making number 5 right now. Once again, short form content I plan on doing over the weekend, probably as breaks when I'm making the portfolio and also doing stuff for research, right? I think that's mainly the direction I want to go with there. And then sleep was pretty good, but I ended up getting limited sleep, and I didn't do well in terms of getting to bed, right? Okay, because this is the thing. Originally, I wanted to do a thing where I go from 9 to 6, right, for sleeping hours, but sadly, I don't think that's going to work, so I'm trying to find a good time period, a good time frame to go to sleep consistently, right? And so I think that I want to make it, I'm going to try my best. I don't know, okay. Okay, I think I want to, no, okay, you know what, whenever possible, I want to try for 9:30, I honestly do. And I'm going to see how many days of the week that I can do 9:30 or at the latest 10. I think maybe it gets tough, right? Because I'll draw it out really quickly. When it comes to me personally, oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, when it comes to me personally, okay, there's like my body has a weird perception of time, right? So when it's like, once it gets to 7, it's like, okay, like this is probably my most productive part. This is 7 p.m. by the way. Once it's 7 p.m., that's when I start getting really productive, right? And then the timeline from there is like usually 8 p.m. is for like eating and stuff like that, right? That's when we're kind of like just like filling our stomach up, or we're doing just like something that's like just a natural humanly response that I'm kind of forced to do, right? And so then basically with that, 9 p.m. is like where I kind of would normally start wrapping up the day, okay? And this is where we enter what I like to call like the danger zone, right? Just DANGER shortcut, right? Any of my Inside Out fans, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But the thing about this is that anything, once we start getting past 10 p.m. and especially 11 p.m., is just the time where nothing gets done. It's just the time where nothing productive happens, right? And so I feel like that's where I really need to focus, right? Because the thing is that the main reason I want to get to bed as early as possible is because, as a man named Ashton Hall put it, temptation lives at night. He said this himself. He's a very successful like entrepreneur. Basically what he says is that I go to sleep early because temptation lives at night. And that's very true. That means like you're just distracted from whatever you're doing. It means falling into urges and not, like lacking control of urges. And it's just like not really good, because that's when you start doing like more, just like, I don't even know how to put it. And it's when you start getting more risky and more bold with your decisions, and you start kind of deviating from this plan, which is why I want to go to bed as early as possible. Once you start hitting double digits for me, that's when I start disassociating myself with just what I actually want to do and what I need to do. So I think I am going to try to say hard cap 10 o'clock, like 9:30. Pack up everything you're doing, it does not matter, and say that 9:30 to 6 would be my new sleeping schedule. And so I think that's really what I'm going to try. I think I'm going to try my best to emphasize just that 9:30 to 6:30. I think that's my goal. It might not happen every single day, but that is the goal, so that way we don't do anything stupid that deviates from this past this time, right? I think that's really what it comes down to. Let me see. And so I think that's really it in terms of the list. And then so yeah, the rest of it, well, yeah, the rest of it I'll go down the day, right? And I actually, okay, first before I go down the day, I do want to mention one thing, because originally there was like this, okay, because I was debating between naming this episode either Unplanned Pregnancy or Some Bridges Just Need to Be Burned, right? I was debating between those two titles, but the thing is that the second one more so applied to a few days ago, and actually kind of flows in from sleep, right? It's basically, I was up late at night, and it just made me realize, because there was this one club, right? It was a hip hop club that I originally joined 1 year ago. It used to be really fun. I used to love the people, but unfortunately it just ended up getting really toxic, simply put. And it was one of those things where I was just waiting for it to get better over time, and it just sadly never got better. I know that there were connections that I made, and I am definitely thankful for those connections. However, it's time to move on, right? It's kind of like the hoodie. It's almost, think about it as like the club equivalent to my hoodie. I appreciate what it did at the time, and now it's time for a change. So I ended up sending like this one, like at least 2,000 character long, like just like DM kind of arrangement to like the person in charge of that. And thankfully he was really cool about it. He was like, well, thanks for being professional, you know. And so it's mainly a thing of like, I didn't want to do it, mainly just because I felt like a club where everyone was coming after me, right? I didn't like it. It was the thing where I was applying for the treasurer position. I mean, because like it was one of those things where just a bunch of dominoes were occurring, right? And then there's just like that one little thing that's just the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? And so the thing is that for me, that was when, after all this time, there was just people treating me weird. There was this one psychotic girl. I do not like her at all. Ironically enough, she's in psychology. I think she should read some of her notes. Basically, what ended up happening is that I think she thought that I was into her, but like not just into her, like obsessed with her, like to an unhealthy degree. And I'm like, first of all, you're not even my type, and second, like, you're literally plastic. Okay, that's what I call people when they're like fake and stuff like that, and they're just like really like two-faced. I call them plastic. But basically, the thing is that it was just like, it was so weird the way she was wording it, and she was like talking about like, oh, like, I got restraining orders against all of my exes. I'm like, girl, I don't think that's a flex, and that especially makes me not want to be with you. So the fact that, because your taste in men, okay, I'm sorry, I know this is such a deviation, but let's just get this straight, because it's like your taste in men is people that you get a restraining order against. So the fact that you're not into me and you dislike me so heavily, I take that as a good sign personally, right? So it was just like one of those things, and then there were just a bunch of other toxic people in there that were kind of just like hiding behind her. One guy fucking simping for her like 24/7. I'm like, bro, get off her dick, right? This one guy, oh my gosh, like I could just go on and on, okay? But I need to limit the drama like to a minimum, okay? Because like, once again, that's distracting of my goals. So basically, the straw that broke the camel's back for me was when there was a vote, and so I was trying to apply for the treasurer role, okay? And I was going up against a guy, and he had valid qualifications. Okay, he was a treasurer in one of his clubs from high school, and also he said he can attend pretty much every single meeting right? Which those are two valuable assets. But I mean, I went in there, I gave my speech, I said I have 10 years of billing experience. Like, so obviously I know how to manage money. I would be the ideal candidate for you guys. It ended up being a tie. It ended up being a tie, okay? And that was just the final thing, because I'm like, okay, well now y'all know, like, this is proof y'all don't care about experience and actual hard work. Y'all just care about who is my friend and who do I want to see controlling the whole club. And that was really a thing. Like, I wanted to apply for it just because I wanted to turn that club around from the toxicity, but unfortunately, like, I was just overpowered. Like, it was pretty much like me and then the one guy who was president, and but people put him in charge of president because he was the original president, but he didn't want to be president. People were just like, oh, just make him the president again. I love that guy, but I mean, like, it was a thing of, I just have to leave. It's too toxic for me, and like I said, it's just not the right move. So that's why I was gonna go with some bridges just need to be burned, because stuff like that, you just gotta cut out of your life. Just realize what is bad for you, take an objective, good look at it, and realize what you need to do with it, because some things are just not worth your time and effort. So now that we got that out of the way, we can go through the list, okay? So first class was not bad. What made it better was that this one guy who was like a friend, like, from a long time ago, maybe like 2 years ago or so. And I say, like, I mean, like, he was still a friend, like, as of recently, but it's been a long time since I've seen him or talked to him. So he walked into the class, and then afterwards, it was like silent, kind of like the teacher was explaining things. We were like, yo, what's good? And he was like, what's good? And then the cleanest, like, dab up of all time. And it was just like, oh, it was beautiful. But basically, after that, he was going to meet up with one of my best friends, probably my best friend, which, by the way, he's probably watching this one take maybe like a few days from now. So, hey, let me see. And basically, we go over to kind of like the student union and stuff like that, and then we're basically just kind of we're ordering food, right? We're getting food from that, and it was a good experience, and it was just nice seeing him again. Just good, like, hanging out. It was a really, really happy situation. So I mean, that completely took my mind off the rest of the day. And then afterwards, there was one class where not really a lot happened, thankfully. That was the one where I got blindsided by that one quiz. And then there was also the unplanned pregnancy, okay? This is why I bring it up, okay? Because the thing is that on Wednesday, we were assigned a quiz. And for those who can't see it, I have that in quotations. We were assigned a quiz where we basically have to put stuff in Excel, and then we're supposed to like make like it's just a whole thing, right? And it's not really a quiz. It's just like it feels like we're doing research for the man, honestly. Like, as someone who's never done research, I feel like that's what research is gonna be like. It's just like here's just a bunch of things, go online, find a couple things, and like that's literally it. Like, I'm not even joking. So not only that, but the homework assignment, and I'm gonna put that in quotations too, is the fact that we had to take a lab kit and we had to do a bunch of stuff with the lab kit, right? And I think it's not going to be as bad when we find it out. But me and my lab partner, when we decided to team up, first of all, we weren't even given time in class or like a specific lab section to do this. It was literally just like, he pretty much said it was like, okay, like, if you want advice on the quiz, stay in this room. If you want to go work on the lab, stay in this room. Obviously, I was confused on the quiz along with my lab partner, so we stayed in the quiz room. Thankfully, I at least know how to do that. But now with the lab, we were like basically trying for like an hour and a half straight. 45 minutes in, we realized that the table we were at wasn't even using a like on outlet. Like, the outlet wasn't even like processing any information. So then we had to go over to a different table and then try it, and then even then the rest of the kit wasn't working. So thankfully the professor was nice enough to give us another kit, and he was pretty much like, he was like, if you guys are having issues, like, come over and we're gonna give you another kit. So he's based for that. I really like it. But like I said, he's just like, that class is just on track to be a 0 out of 10 for me. I just don't like it. But I mean, again, I gotta find ways, because in this world, it doesn't matter whether you like something or not. It doesn't matter whether you expect something for an hour or whether you plan something or not. You gotta go about your day, and you just gotta adapt. And I feel like that's definitely been a theme across these episodes, is I have to learn to adapt to my surroundings. I can't just be standing here complaining all the time. It's gotta be, what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? So that brings me here. Rest of the day is going to be looking like I do this, okay, and get done with the quiz, and then my roommate and I, we're going to watch like a movie while we eat like a mini dinner and stuff, and then after that I'm probably going to do 2 chapters so that we reduce this debt counter to 1, so that way we can do 2 chapters tomorrow, and then I also plan on doing neck day for gym. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, honestly. Maybe a little bit of academics or a bit of music, but honestly I feel like that should definitely take up the rest of the day. So what did we learn from today? Well, we learned, of course, some bridges just need to be burned, right? Some just do, because some bridges don't benefit you. If there is a bridge, okay, you could have like 7 bridges up, right? If there was a bridge where all it was doing was letting people, okay, let's imagine this, okay, you know, I'm gonna draw something, okay? Let's imagine you own this little island, right? You own this little island, it's like a circle, okay? I'm gonna label it with like an eye, okay? You have like 6 different bridges that lead to this island, or lead to other islands, right? You have some good islands, you have some pretty dang good islands, right? You have this one, which can bring in money. You got this one, which can bring in food. This one for water. And let's just say 2 other good things coming from these bridges, right? But if from this bridge, all that's coming are attackers from a different island, why on earth would you want to keep that bridge around? Right? All that it's doing is it's harming your island. It's draining you of your money. It's draining you of your food. It's draining you of your water. Let's say over here, it's draining you of your energy. I mean, simply put, it's not healthy for you because it's taking away from all of the good bridges that you have. So what do you do with it? You burn it. And you never look back. Do be careful though, because if you burn too many bridges, just know you're going to be stranded. Simply put. The next thing that we're going to talk about, okay? Realize what time is the time when nothing gets done. Because if you are up at that time when nothing productive is getting done, why are you up? Why are you up, right? Simply put, if you're doing something unproductive, either find something productive to do or go to sleep. Take a nap or go to sleep. If you're sitting on your phone, if you're laying in bed and you just need that rest, you're like, oh man, like I just need to like rest for a little bit. I just need to lay down. Great, fantastic. Take a nap or find something productive to do with your time. Because if you're wasting this time, you only have 24 hours in a day. If you spend about 3 hours scrolling, those are 3 valuable hours that could have translated into the next day, and you just wasted it doing nothing. So find ways to either fill that energy or recuperate your energy or regenerate your energy. Okay, number 3 is going to be the fact that some things in life are going to feel completely unplanned. Some things are going to feel like they just came out of left field and you're like, what the heck is this doing here, okay? You gotta find a way to deal with it. But the nice thing about that is that every time you find a way to deal with something, it gets a little easier the next time you have to deal with something. And why do I say that? Because the thing about that is that we know experiences, right? We as human beings, we have undergone experiences throughout all of our lives, right? We learn from experiences. Like I said in past episodes, we learn from the past. And so the thing about that is that since we're able to learn from the past, and since we're able to learn in the present, we can prepare ourselves in the future. So it's important to consider all 3 elements at once in order to move you forward, right? That's pretty much all I gotta say, honestly. So hopefully I cooked as much as I think I did. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow after I pick this marker up. Cut.